Hello friends, myself Dr. Ashish Ishwardas Agrawal, pediatrician practicing at Nanded from last 18 years. From last 4 years I am preparing videos for the patients, relatives, parents on various common diseases in children, parenting and for teenagers how to study and their problems. From today I am going to start making videos for doctors so they can follow all the clinical guidelines and practice in a scientific way. My first topic, COVID-19 in children, is for all the general pediatrician and general physician. So first of all, we had to know epidemiology. WHO had declared COVID-19 as a pandemic in 2020 January. First of all, I like to salute all the health workers. They are working selflessly from last 1 year, 1 year and saving lot of lives throughout the 1 year. During the first wave, only few children were affected. During the second wave now, we are seeing more and more children are affected, and the fear of third wave is that children will be getting more and more infection in the third wave. But as per data, children from birth to 10 years, only 4% of children were affected during first wave as well as second wave, and 8% children were affected during first as well as second wave between 10 to 20 years of the age. It means we are seeing more children because more number of patients are getting positive. That's why we are seeing more children. Why children are affected less? As everyone knows, this disease spread by person to person. Children are not exposed, so they are infected less. Why children are having less morbidity and mortality? There is a scientific evidence for that because the children are having lot of AC inhibitors in a lung, and these AC inhibitors fight against COVID virus. That's why children are having less morbidity as well as mortality. Also due to strong innate immunity, since children are giving lot of vaccination during the first 5 years, their innate immunity is much better than adults. Also, excellent regeneration of pediatric alveolar epithelium. Whenever COVID virus attack lung, the alveolar epithelium get damaged, but regeneration is much faster in children compared to adults. And the most important reason is that children are not having any comorbid condition like diabetes and hypertension. So what are the effect of COVID-19 on children? The direct effect as well as indirect effect. In direct effect, children are getting either upper respiratory tract infection or lower respiratory tract infection. In some very few cases, we are seeing ARDS and multiple organ dysfunction in children. But a lot of indirect effect from last year, particularly on mental health, like mental health is disturbed, mobile addiction, poor learning, routine action is also disturbed, and loss of job in a family having effect on children as well as everyone in the family. So we had to define COVID before starting treatment. What is suspected case? A patient with acute febrile illness with respiratory symptoms. Any child is having fever and respiratory symptom, first we have to think COVID. Also child in contact with positive cases, particularly family members, then we have to suspect such children irrespective of the child is not having symptoms or not symptoms. The probable case is we are suspecting a child is having COVID because child is having high grade fever, child is having respiratory tract symptoms, or child was in contact with the other family members, or CT scan are showing the changes of COVID. But antigen test and RT-PCR test is negative, then we cannot say it is not COVID. We have to keep in a probable case. And as for confirmed cases there, any child with antigen positive or RT-PCR positive, irrespective of symptom, are confirmed case. What are the symptoms? Classical presentation: fever, cold and cough, myalgia, weakness, decreased appetite, loss of taste and smell. If the child or any adult member is having loss of taste and smell, is actually a good sign because the chances of morbidity and mortality is very less. New symptoms: now we are seeing a lot of new symptoms in COVID, particularly in children. Children are coming with acute gastroenteritis and abdominal pain. Very few cases we are seeing fever with rash, particularly maculopapular rash or articular rash or vesicular eruption. Unusual presentation: child is having only fever, no other symptoms, And after 4 to 5 days, when we are not able to diagnose any disease in such children, we are doing COVID and we are seeing COVID positive in such children. So we had to classify each and every disease, including COVID, for the better management. But asymptomatic case means child is positive by antigen or RT-PCR, but no symptoms. In mild cases, whatever symptoms we had discussed in last slide that are present in this child. In moderate cases, the symptoms plus child is having fast breathing. I am going to discuss what is the normal respiratory rate in the next few slides. Presence of hypoxia, oxygen saturation less than 94%, and if child is having decreased intake, decreased activity and decreased urine output, then such children are in a moderate cases and such children need hospitalization. As far as severe cases are there, respiratory distress, oxygen level less than 90% and seizures. In critical cases, ARDS, shock, multi-organ dysfunction and acute thrombosis. Acute thrombosis are very rare in children. What is definition of fast breathing? I'll come definition. Before speaking about definition, I'd like to tell all of you that we had to measure respiratory rate for 1 minute. Don't measure for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. Child should be afebrile. Child should be calm. Either child shouldn't be crying or laughing. Sometimes doing any activity. Sometimes very small children, we ask mother to breastfeed the child. Again, in such cases, respiratory rate can increase. And always measure for 1 minute, and the best time is when child is sleeping. So you can train the parents to measure the respiratory rate. So what is normal respiratory rate? Less than 2 months, below 60 is normal. 2 months to 1 year, below 50 is normal. 1 year to 5 year, below 40 is normal. And above 5 year, below 30 is normal. What are the dangerous symptoms and signs? Whenever the patient come to us in our OPD, we should know what are the dangerous symptoms or signs. A patient come on day 2 or day 3 and speak to us that patient is not responding, child is not responding to paracetamol, then it is a dangerous symptom. Child is looking lethargic, that is decreased intake, decreased urine output and decreased activity, then it is a dangerous sign. Irritable child, parents say that child is continuously irritable, continuously crying, then it is a dangerous sign. As I said, respirate more than as per the age, then it is if the child is having tachypnea, then it is a dangerous sign, and oxygen level less than 94% is a dangerous sign. Now, how we are going to diagnose the case? As each and every doctor knows, just I am going to repeat. In asymptomatic patient, always do rapid antigen test, and if the antigen test is negative, wait for symptoms and ask the patient to follow up. In suspected case, do rapid antigen test or RT-PCR. If antigen test is negative and if you are suspecting strongly about COVID, then ask the patient for RT-PCR test. And in some children, in a probable case, as I discussed in a last few slides, if you are suspecting COVID but RT-PCR is also negative, then in such condition, we should do antibody test after day 7 of the symptoms. Now we are going to discuss management. First, as we had described the types of COVID, asymptomatic, mild, moderate and severe. We are going to discuss only asymptomatic, mild and little bit of moderate. As far asymptomatic cases are there, stick home isolation we are going to discuss later. Multivitamin, zinc, vitamin C and vitamin D. Avoid antibiotics, maintain good hydration and nutrition, and ask parents if child develop any symptom like simple cold, cough, they should contact immediately. In mild cases, again stick home isolation, and we had to start symptomatic treatment. If the child is having fever, then give paracetamol 10 mg per kg per dose. You can repeat after 4 hours. If fever is not responding to paracetamol, then give mefenic acid 8 mg per kg per dose. You can repeat after 8 hours. If the child is having cold, no medicine, only steam inhalation. But if child is having nose block or severe cold, then you can prescribe nasal drops and second generation antihistaminic like cetirizine, levocetirizine, or third generation antihistaminic like fexofenadine. If the child is having cough, you have to give warm gargles, and if you are sure the child is having lung problem, then give cough expectorant, and if you are not sure or if you are sure child is having not having lung problem, then you can give cough depression. And if you are not sure about what is the problem, then you can always prescribe only expectorant. And I'm going to continue treatment. You have to prescribe multivitamin, zinc, vitamin C and vitamin D. Ask the parent to maintain good hydration and nutrition, and contact if fever is not responding after 2 days of treatment, or other symptoms like cough, cold or any other symptoms is not responding after 5 days of treatment, and contact immediately if dangerous symptoms or sign. Next page. There is no role of antibiotic as per guidelines, but you can prescribe little bit of antibiotic for prevention of secondary infection. As per role of steroid is there. As a pediatrician, I am going to say that avoid steroid in mild cases. In moderate cases, child need to be hospitalized with proper monitoring facilities. Give symptomatic treatment as discussed earlier. Investigation has to be done like CBC, CRP, D-dimer, prothrombin time, X-ray chest, and if you are suspecting strong pneumonia, then do HRCT. If oxygen level is less than 94%, start oxygen. If intake is poor or sign of dehydration is there, then start IV fluid, and you have to give steroid if you are suspecting pneumonia. Injection dexamethasone 0.15 milligram per kg dose 3 times in a day, or injection methylprednisolone 30 milligram per kg per day. In moderate cases, start injectable antibiotic and give inhaled bronchodilator rather than giving nebulization. If the child is deteriorating very fast, or if the CT scan changes are much higher, then you can start remdesivir. Loading dose 4 milligram per kg, and that maintenance dose 2 milligram per kg per day. You have to remember that remdesivir cannot be prescribed below 12 years of age. If the child is having signs of thrombosis like prothrombin time is dearranged, then start aspirin 1 to 1.5 milligram per kg per day. Maximum dose is 81 milligram in a day. As far investigations are concerned, no investigation should be done in asymptomatic cases. In mild cases, do investigation. If fever is not responding after 2 days of treatment, you can do CBC and CRP. Other investigation on a clinical condition, avoid CT scan. It is very important to interpret CBC. If the neutrophil lymphocyte ratio is more than 3.5, then it is a dangerous sign. How to calculate neutrophil lymphocyte ratio? What are neutrophil is there? Suppose neutrophil is 90 and lymphocyte is 10. The neutrophil lymphocyte ratio is 9 and it is a dangerous sign. If the child CBC report is showing low platelets or low hemoglobin or high hemoglobin more than 14, then it is a dangerous sign. If CRP is raised more than 6, it is a dangerous sign. But if you do CRP after 2 days and CRP is increasing, then it is more dangerous. You had to monitor child at home, and you had to tell the parents how to monitor. Contact immediately if fever is not responding to paracetamol, and if fever continue after 2 days of treatment. If respiratory rate is more than 60 in a newborn, in a children below 2 months, as I discussed, if child is having tachypnea, then they should contact us, and you have to tell what is the normal value. If the child intake is less, or if child activity is less, or if child urine output is less, then they should contact immediately. And if oxygen level facilities is there at their home and it is less than 94%, they should contact immediately. How to take care of children at home? You had to consult the parents regarding home quarantine. Keep the child with other positive family members. But if the child is only positive, then what? Encourage the child to stay alone. If not possible, then ask the fittest person in the family to stay with the child. If the child is on breastfeeding, if both mother and child are positive, then continue breastfeeding. If mother is positive and child is negative, then they should avoid breastfeeding. If child is positive and mother is negative, then you can continue breastfeeding. You have to follow strict home quarantine rules. Stay in a bedroom with attached bathroom. If it is not possible, then it is better to stay at government isolation center. If food should be given in a disposable plate. If it is not possible, then the patient who is positive should wash their own plates rather than giving plates to wash by other family member. Avoid washing clothes for 14 days. If patient is going out of the home for repeat checkup for any reason, then they shouldn't touch any part of the home. They should use proper masks, and any other family member shouldn't enter the room where the positive patient are staying. Now, a lot of patients ask how long we have to keep the quarantine. Child, including adults, should be quarantined for 10 days, but for on a safer side, it is advisable to keep quarantine for 14 days. How to clean room after coronavirus exposure? If possible, it is better to keep room closed for 5 days after the patient come out of the room. If it is not possible, then you have to clean room as we are going to discuss in the next slide. How to clean the room? Wear the gloves and proper mask with surgical cap. If clean all the surface with water and soap, and after that use sodium hypochlorite solution. Prepare the solution as per manufacturing instructions and clean each and every part of the room step by step. Now, how to clean the room? The person who is going to clean the room should also clean the electronic gadgets. They should remove visible contamination and clean with a 70% alcohol-based solution. Wash all the clothes in hot water with detergent, and after the cleaning the room, the person who had done it should take proper bath. Personal hygiene of the child is also very important. After 14 days, ask the child to take a proper bath. Wear a new clothes before meeting other family members. And it is always advisable to use separate bathroom for 14 days. If it is not possible, then the person who is positive should clean the bathroom after every use. There are a lot of medical problem in children, post-COVID weakness, persistent cough, and anxiety. Weakness, fatigue is a common symptom in any viral infection, including COVID, as body divert lot of energy to fight against viral infection, and this weakness usually subside as the patient recover. But in some cases, we can see weakness after 14 days of infection also. So treatment, give proper adequate nutrition and rest. Advise high calorie food like banana and potato, and prescribe supplementation like multivitamin, calcium, and if child is having anemia, you can also give iron supplementation. Persistent cough is again is a very rare in children. We are seeing a lot of persistent cough in adults. If a child is having persistent cough after COVID, after 14 days of COVID, then you have to re-examine the child. It is advisable to do CBC and X-ray chest and treat the child as per clinical condition. If child lungs is showing crepitation or wheezing or any sound, then you have to give cough expectorant, and always better to give azithromycin as antibiotic. If child is having lung is very clear, child is not having any lung problem, then you can give cough suppressant. Ask the child to take steam inhalation and drink lot of water, and ask the child to sleep on one side rather than flat on the back, and always use face mask if the child is having cough even after 14 days of COVID. If the child is having a lot of problem of cough, particularly if the oxygen saturation was less than 94%, child required oxygen during treatment, or CT scan or X-ray changes, X-ray was showing lot of changes, then it is advisable to do some breathing exercise. Belly breathing, you ask the child to sit upright and keep the hand on the stomach. I am keeping here because you cannot see me. Keep the hand on the stomach and close the lip and breathe in through the nose. And pull the air into the stomach rather than lungs. You will feel that your stomach is rising and your hands are moving apart. And slowly exhale through the nose, and you can repeat such breathing for almost 1 minute. You can use spirometer for breathing exercise. Sit upright. Everyone must have seen the spirometer. Sit upright. Put the mouthpiece. This is a mouthpiece in the mouth, and ask the child to close the lip tight around it and breathe in slowly. As you breathe through the mouthpiece, the piston will rise, and you breathe out slowly, the piston will fall. You can repeat this type of breathing for 30 seconds. Another complication of post-COVID is anxiety. What are the symptoms of anxiety? There is excessive cry. Child is refusing to eat, not able to sleep. Child is having fear of hospitalization, also excessive temper tantrum, and fear of reinfection. When the child is showing symptoms of anxiety, then we have to look mental health. As per WHO, health is not only physical but mental and social well-being also. So we had to keep mental well-being of the child. As I said, the indirect effect of COVID, even the child are not positive, even the child are not getting infected, they are showing lot of mental health problem like mobile addiction, and a lot of problems which I discussed already. Then how to decrease the mental health problem. Child enjoy family time. You had to give quality time to your child. You can play variety of indoor games like carom. You can have a lot of creative activity like essay writing, drawing competition at home, and you can have family get together at terrace. Whenever you give quality time, child enjoy your quality time, and that not only help to decrease their mental problem, in fact it helps the child to grow as a person. Also, when the child are bored, the level of disruptive behavior increases. So we had to have a proper routine. Like you can have a child can get up early in the morning, do little bit of exercise. Then after breakfast, then they can go for online classes. After finishing the online classes, child can play with lot of indoor games with parents or other childrens. It is always advisable to child to play in 4 or 5 children group out of the home. You can ask other parents if you are having fever or any member is having fever and cold and cough. Don't send child to play. You can create a group of 4 to 5 children and they can play out of the home for in the evening between 5 to 7. After coming from playing, they can take proper bath, wash their hand, and then they can study for half an hour, and after that they can watch TV and they can go to sleep. If you can create such a routine, it is always better, since creating routine will keep them busy and not using mobile or television for their entertainment. As I said, social well-being is also an important part of health. So we had to create new approaches. Already I said you can create a group of 4 to 5 children and they can play together. If this is not possible, then you can have video calling or online meeting between childrens. Even if you are very scared of COVID, then ask the parents to go out of the home and wear proper masks, and they can talk to their friends by keeping this social distancing of 6 feet. Even children can play, as I already said. Reaching out to the mobile whenever there is nothing to do is a mobile addiction in adults as well as children. Whenever a child is using mobile while watching TV, if you feel your child cannot spend time alone without mobile or fail to cut down the mobile in spite of request, then your child is suffering from mobile addiction, and this is the biggest mental health problem of last 1 year. Then how to decrease the mobile addiction? Lead by example. It means if you are using mobile continuously in front of the child, the children are going to use the mobile. You provide alternative healthy way. As I said, create a group of 5 to 6 children, create activities, essay writing. As COVID is going to decrease, then the child can be sent for various activity. So you can keep the child busy and entertainment will be there, so the child may not use mobile. Also set family rules that everyone is going to use mobile for half an hour. Do not keep it accessible, means you should not have lot of mobile at home. If you have lot of mobile, children, if the father is not giving, the mother, they will go and catch the mother mobile. Do not do everything on mobile like calculation, alarm watch, clock. If you are using mobile for everything, then you are dependent on the mobile, and you had to supervise the child whenever they are using mobile or laptop for education, and you had to check whether they are using only for education or for other purposes. Now there are few questions where the lot of doctors are asking me why children are more affected in second wave. I already answered that. Again I am going to repeat. As more and more adults are infected, the children are also infected more. But the percentage is only 12%. And also we are seeing more adult as well as children are infected because the lowering of the guard before second wave. Now we are seeing lot of mass gathering like marriages, lack of adherence to masks and distancing during December to March, and also we are seeing new variant which are more infectious compared to the first wave. Can my children get reinfection? Yes, children including adult can get reinfection. We are seeing very few cases, but the chances of reinfection are there. So if even you had COVID in past or even you had taken vaccine, you had to protect yourself as the COVID norms. Is COVID vaccine available? Yes, not in India right now, but main aim of the vaccine is to reduce mortality and little bit of morbidity. Always convey the patient that if you are taking vaccine, it doesn't mean that you are not going to catch the infection. And Bharat Biotech has already started trials under children about 2 years. Shall I continue routine vaccination? Yes. In last 1 year, I had seen lot of patients are not taking the routine vaccination because of fear going to hospital and catch the COVID vaccine. You can create a special time as I had created afternoon time, so the patient can come at between 2 to 3 p.m. when we don't see lot of patient. Also, convince the patient to take all the vaccine including private as well as government. If they are not taking the vaccine properly, they can catch up the vaccination as per the schedule. As all the doctors know, I am going to take the vaccination lecture in next few weeks. Can we send the kid to the school? Answer is, if the child is below 12 years, it is better to avoid till vaccination is completed. And above 12 years, if the child is preparing for competitive exam like NEET, IIT or then you can send your kid. Or if the child is not comfortable with online education, then you can send your kid to the offline classes. And now for doctors, I want to tell that there is a lot of studies have come that there is an airborne transmission of virus. Initial impression was that the COVID virus spread by contact and air droplet infection. Now there are a lot of evidence that it is transmitted through air also. So if you are seeing if you are in your OPD, you should have proper ventilation. If ventilation is not possible, then reduce crowding and open the door and ask the patient to spend less time in the urinary cabin. As lowering of the guard before second wave we had seen, don't do that in your OPD. Avoid air condition. Use masks while staying in your room. If you want to take rest, don't take rest in your OPD. Go to another room and take rest, and always look for the quality of the mask. Don't use same mask again and again and catch the infection. So friends, as you know that I had written two books. Below 6 years, Hasat Khilat Bal Vikas. Above 6 years, Bal Sanskar. I had lot of social sites where you can join me on Facebook, Positive Parenting, on WhatsApp. Send requests on this number, and I can join you in one of my WhatsApp group. YouTube channel where you are seeing this video, Dr. Ashish Agrawal, or on Twitter, Positive Parenting. As all of you know, I am running counseling center as well as I am working as a pediatrician. On counseling center, if the child is having any behavior or education problem, you can send such children for counseling. And if teenagers are there, I can counsel the teenagers separately or along with the parents. I hope you like my first lecture, and whatever you want to comment, you can comment on my personal mobile number or on a comment box of this channel. And if you are not like this, if you are not prescribed my channel, please prescribe the channel. Thank you very much.